As you guys might have read, we're on a discussion right now talking about, is Smash Bros. A fighting game? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because recently there was the Game Awards that just occurred. We had things like Sekiro getting Game of the Year, we had things like Fire Emblem getting Best Strategy, but the one thing that stood out to me was that they had Smash Bros. As Best Fighting Game. So I want to discuss that. Is Smash Bros. A fighting game? In my personal opinion, no, it's not. And I'm going to explain here why I think that. So let's start with the basis of what fighting games are. A fighting game is a game where you and another opponent have to pretty much go toe-to-toe, bring down the other one's life bar in a variety of ways. Whether it's spacing, whether it's combos, whether it's rushdown, there are many different ways to play a fighting game, but they always revolve around the same consensus that you and your enemy go toe-to-toe until one drops. That's the big how fighting games work. So looking at Mortal Kombat up here, I'm Scorpion, that's Sub-Zero. We both have health bars. As you can see, his goes down on a combo. He stays like that, right? There's no way to heal him. I mean, some fighting games do, but we'll get to the nifty shit in a moment. But the point is that the game ends once one of us hits zero. I busted my combo. But you get the point. The point is that once we hit zero, the game's over. So why don't I consider Smash Bros. This? Once you hit a high enough percentage, you can get killed. The reason I don't consider it is because, first of all, the health bar thing is different in that game. It's inverted. So in these games, in Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter, and Tekken, and BlazBlue, and literally any other fighting game, you have to get someone low by beating the shit out of them. In Smash Bros, it's inverse. If I was doing this combo on Sub-Zero right now, instead of going from 100 to 0, he goes from 0 to 100. So he's going up rather than down. So the thing about this with the issue is that in Smash Bros, the way to kill people, the way to finish your opponents off, isn't via getting them 0. It's by knocking them off the map. Which means you can kill someone instantly at 0%, or you can kill them at 300%. So that's my first big gripe with Smash when it comes to, is it a fighting game? That's why one of the first reasons I don't believe it's so. Because in other fighting games, yes, there are touch of deaths, yes, there's different health bars, yes, there's a million different things, that variety when it comes to health, but no fighting game necessarily has the thing that makes it so your health can you can die at any point, or you can live past the initial health. And why I say that is because in Smash Bros, you have, I'll pick a heavy, for example, we'll pick Bowser. Bowser is so when you're a heavy, it's harder to knock you out the map, right? Versus if I'm playing someone like Jigglypuff, who if I'm at 100, I have to fear getting knocked once. Bowser can hit up to 300 with one stock. It's rare. I'm not gonna make it seem like as if it's always gonna happen to him, but it can happen. Because it's possible with his kind of character archetype that he can live to that point. And the reason I don't like that is because, so in most fighting games, if I'm doing my combos and stuff, once you hit a certain point, that's it, right? Like, we're done once we hit a certain point. I'm just gonna keep on comboing subs here till he gets to a certain health bar percentage. Perfect. Alright, so right here. So in Smash Bros, let's say this is 100, right? If I'm to hit Sub-Zero right now in Mortal Kombat, he's dead. There's nothing else. He's dead. There's no way to save him. If he got hit by that kick, he was dead. In Smash Bros, there are a million different ways to go around this. If I hit you with that same kick, that kick may not kill you. That kick could kill you, could not kill you. There's also a bunch of other things. Now, I know someone might say, like, oh, well, when you're saying, like, oh, insta-kills and stuff like that, what about Guilty Gear? Guilty Gear allows you to insta-kill immediately. And yeah, that's a case, but the health situation's the same. Although you may insta-kill at 0, you still only have 0 to 100. You get my point? You get 100 or 100 to 0. So although it's an insta-kill, albeit it's a tough one, that's my next big gripe, but we're going to get to that in the next point. Although you can get to 0 instantly, it's not necessarily the same way as it is in Smash, where you have extended health bars and stuff. Your health bar is not truly there, it's simply your ability to stay on the map that determines if you're alive or not how well you do in the fight. So here comes my next big gripe when it comes to Smash Bros. When it comes to it being a fighting game. Um, the difficulty, and I understand it's a kids game, and I also understand at the same point, not all fighting games are supposed to be tough. Let's look at Fighters, for example. It's made to be casual, but I feel like it's weird to make to call it a fighting game when a fucking kid can play it. Like, and I know that sounds stupid, so let me real quick clarify what I mean by that. In Smash Bros, anyone can pick up the game and play it, right? I have a good friend of mine who only really watches videos of Smashes. You know, he just watches videos, and he knows a lot about the game now. But my biggest gripe with Smash, when it comes down to it, is that if right now, if I were to watch every video on Mortal Kombat, if I was to watch how to do wave dashes, you know, if I was to watch how to do every combo, if I was to watch how to fight every character, I would have to actually put time to practice. And I feel like that's not the case in Smash, and I'll tell you why I feel like that's not the case. I don't play that much Smash. I have online, I have all that stuff, but I've only played online, I want to say 3 times, and I mostly play with my friends. But online is not that difficult. Yes, people try hard, and yes, people do this and that. But honestly, if you want to win, it's not hard to win. And I feel like that's really weird for a fighting game of all things. Like, if I want to win, I could just win. I don't have to actually, like, bother. I don't learn much combos. I don't go into training. But in this game, I have to. I have to learn frame data. I have to learn what hit advantages and shit like that. But in Smash, it's like, if this combo does a lot, and I'm able to get up in their face after, and just do a 50-50, whether they roll or I grab them, that's it. That's the game. And again, I'm going to bring up, when it comes to difficulty, like characters, I understand fighting games such as BlazBlue. We'll look at Tager. Tager has a high health pool and combos, or not combos, but command grabs that do almost a third of your health bar, like each command grab. So why is it like that should be easy, right? Well, no, because in Smash, spacing and zoning is a fucking fickle thing. I know some Smash fanboy might be like, oh, well, it's tougher than it looks. You know, I just have to do my fucking dares. But it's like, in BlazBlue, Tager has a way tougher time than you might think. Yes, he has iframes on the grab. Yes, he can do this. Yes, he has a bunch of different other grabs. But it's a lot tougher because if you're fighting opponents, they're not stupid. They're not gonna. I mean, yes, that's subjective because it depends on your opponent. But if you're fighting good opponents, it shouldn't be that easy. You know, like you won't always hit that grab. That grab is very tough. But if I'm playing Bowser and I do 2 forward aerials, which is very easy to do, mind you, I can get my opponent to like literally fucking 50. And in Smash terms, depending on the character, that'd be like if I hit 2 Tager command grabs in a row on a really tough opponent. Like, that's bonkers to me. This point isn't too relevant. I'm not going to try and make this point seem as if it's the end-all of points. This point isn't supposed to be some crazy, like, oh, like, this is the biggest reason. It's just a gripe I have with the game when people call it a fighting game. I feel like a fighting game shouldn't be something I can pick up and then become a pro at. Because I feel like right now, if I wanted to, I probably could just become a fucking pro at Smash. Like, that's how easy the game is. And again, it's a kids game, and that's another big issue I have with it, is that it's a kids game, and this is where what I would consider Smash is. I consider Smash a party game. It's a party fighter, you know. Mario Party is a party game, you know, but Smash is a party fighter. It's not a fighting game; it's a party game. What that means is, one, you can fight multiple opponents at once. Now, someone might bring up, well, you could do that in fighters when you do the group battle. Well, yes, you can, but that's not really competitive or anything like that. And I understand someone might mention, oh, well, you can. It's not in competitive. You don't have to fight 4 people. You know, that's why they have duels and stuff like that. But it's still an archetype, and you still can fight 4 people in a fight, which is weird. That's not necessarily a fighting game aspect. No fighting game out there. Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, Persona, Dead or Alive, Killer Instinct. None of these games have you fighting more than one other person. They have you fighting just the one. And again, I understand, you could mention competitive, but it's not like Smash was made with the intent of dueling. You understand? It wasn't made with the intent that people would be 1v1ing each other in a sweaty ass room. It was made with the intent that a party of people will come together, have fun in the game. So that's one of the biggest things. My next point on the party game thing is, would you consider PlayStation All Stars a fighting game? Or Brawlhalla? Would you consider those games fighting games? If you said yes, why? Why would you consider those fighting games? I want to bring up mostly PlayStation All Stars because I feel like that relates very heavily to Smash. It's pretty much the PlayStation equivalent. If you guys don't know what PlayStation All Stars is, it's this game that came out, I want to say in 2013 or something like that. It was a really fun party game. It was so fun. But I would never consider it a fighting game, and I'll tell you why. The first thing is, there's no fucking such thing as health bars in that game. The way the game works is, as you're beating on each other's asses, you gain meter. Once you gain, there's 3 bars of meter you can get. There's 1, 2, and 3. Every bar, every level you get, so level 1, you have your level 1 ult, level 2, your level 2, and level 3, your level 3 ult. You have to kill each other with ults. You cannot kill each other any other way. And depending on the level of the ult, makes the ult tougher to go avoid and stuff. Your level 3 is practically, like most characters, level 3s are impossible to get out of. You're guaranteed death on level 3. Some characters level 2s are very tough, and so on and so forth. But I would never consider this game a fighting game because it has none of the fundamentals of a fighting game with it. Yes, there are combos, and yes, you can do spacing and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're not trying to deplete the other guy's life bar. You're trying to gain meter to get an ult to end the game. It doesn't follow the archetype of a fighting game of killing someone and depleting their health to 0. It follows the archetype of a party game with a special rule in place to get the W. And that's the actual game mode. Again, if you look at Smash, I understand I just mentioned that's the way it's played, but Stamina Battle is a really good thing. I've said before, I feel like if Stamina Battle was the main game mode in Smash, then I would somewhat consider it a fighting game. Because you're meant to get an opponent's HP to 0. It's not just... I feel like at times it could be a game of luck. Like, the game has a lot of weird quirks in it that, in my opinion, prevent it from being a fighting game. Just shit like nairs and shit like that. Shit like hitboxes and issues, because it's a platform fighter. Again, I mentioned fighter, and someone's like, he said it again! Why are you calling them fighters if you don't consider them fighting games? Because they follow the archetype of you have to fight with people. But that doesn't consider them fighting games. They're not fighting games. Let's look at another fighting game, Skullgirls. You can have, you have teams of people. 3 people on one team, 3 people on another team. That's one person controlling it. It's like Marvel vs. Capcom in that regard. You're controlling, it's 1v1, one player versus another player. And that's the base game mode. The base game mode in Smash is 2 up to 4 fucking players, and even onward if you go to 8. The game was never meant with the intent of doing 1v1s, and I feel like people don't understand that, and they always consider Smash a fighting game because of that, which it isn't. The spacing part, as I said, getting knocked out the arena, that's the requirement of the game. Every other fighting game, you have to deplete someone's life bar. That's what fighting games are. Deplete the life bar. That's your objective. There's no other objective. How you go about it is where playstyle and characters come in, but when it comes to that, that's part of the game. In Smash, that's not your objective at all. Your objective in Smash is to knock them out the arena as quick as you can, because that's how you take someone's stock. So that's really the big reasons why I don't consider Smash a fighting game. That's a real quick recap. I don't consider it because 1, it's easy. That's the smallest point, so that's why I'm mentioning it first. 2, it doesn't follow traditional archetype, and again, I've said before, I know most fighting games don't follow the same linear path, but they always follow 2 quintessential rules, 1v1 and 100 HP down to 0. Those are the 2 rules, in my opinion, they have to follow. If you find some example fighting game that is like that I would consider a fighting game, I would love for someone to leave it in the comments so I could see what it is and tell you if I think of it is or not. Because I'm open to criticism on this. I just personally don't believe it is. There's a lot of things about Smash. And again, I want to reiterate, it's a kid's game. It's a party game. It was made with the intent to just play and have fun and just play with your friends. I understand, like, in that same regard, you'd be like, well, fighting games are made to play and have fun with your friends. But fighting games are made to be competitive. It's a 1v1 scenario where you're just fighting your opponent. You want to win, of course, every game is like that. You want to win, but there's certain rules that are in place. Smash has different rules that don't follow the norm, and they follow more of the party norm, which is why I mentioned Brawlhalla and PlayStation All Stars. They have different rules. The reason I'm not mentioning Brawlhalla too much is because Brawlhalla is pretty much a fucking Smash clone with a couple new rules. So, you know, we're not mentioning that shit. And that's really it, man. That's my personal opinion on what, you know, the thing is. I'm blanking, but yeah. I wish more people would recognize it as such. I'm not, again, I don't want to diss any pro player. I'm not saying, like, oh, like, you suck because you play this game. I'm not saying that. I respect the pro players, but the thing is, in my opinion, Smash will never be, in my eyes, they'll never be considered a fighting game because it's seen as childish to me, and not in the sense that it's a kid's game, but the community itself is childish. I've seen more clips of Smash players being salty or being downright fucking disgusting than I have in any other fighting game. And it's because Smash is not, it's not the same. It doesn't follow the fighting game MO. Fighting games, yes, can bring out the rage. They can bring out the spirit, you know? But fighting games also have that thing of love. We're lovers and fighters all at once in the FGC. And I don't feel like Smash has that. I feel like Smash is it's a party game. You're just playing it to have fun. A good example is yesterday. I was with a group of my friends and we were playing Smash last night. And one of my friends who shows up very rarely he had told us it's crazy that you can have fun in this game and you don't know how to play it. And of course, yes, you can do that with any game. It's not like that's impossible. But I feel like in other fighting games, if I'm fighting, he said it's good to play fighting games when you don't know what you're doing, when you're fighting people that know what you're doing. That's what he said. And I like that, because in our fighting games, if this is my first time playing MK and I'm fighting like Sonic Fox or some shit, I'm not gonna have fun, because I'm just gonna be getting I was pretty much just watching a movie at that point, because I'm not gonna be able to do anything. But Smash allows players to get the better of better players, you know? Smash allows you to enjoy the game regardless, and that's what party fighters are. They allow you to have fun no matter the situation. Fighting games don't necessarily allow that too much, and that's kind of my gripe with, you know, fighting games in Smash. Smash has its niche. Smash will always fill that niche. It's a fun party game to play with friends, and if you want to get competitive, by all means, be competitive in it. But I'm just saying, it's not a traditional fighter by any sense of the word, so I will never consider it a fighter. If I had to pick a fighting game to get the Game Awards, probably wouldn't have been it. I probably would have picked Mortal Kombat, honestly. And I know Mortal Kombat's a shit game. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm picking it because it probably is the only other option, honestly. Because I think the other options were what, like Tekken 7 and shit like that. I would say Tekken, honestly. Tekken's a really good thing to pick. But yeah, that was my opinion. And I'll see you guys